$20 as you pick it up.
Hey, we're starting. Oh, for me or Alex said that?
I'm saying that for you.
Be quiet. Let's find out. This podcast was edited and uploaded by Uncle Geeb Productions. Hey guys, welcome everyone to the Drip Geeb Podcast. I am Uncle Geeb, who's $20 richer, and with me this week is Drip Media Gaming. We record this podcast live every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can listen to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, or anywhere you can find a podcast. You can also watch our video podcast over on youtube.com/DripGeeb. Drip. Pay up, brother. Pay up. I'm getting cocky about it. Let me shoot a jump shot. Score! And with this selection of the Drip Geeb Podcast, Drip Media fails. Everybody, how we doing?
I didn't fail. I did what I was supposed to do. You did your job correctly this week. Good job. Oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
Very happy.
I will take the pats on the back. I deserve every pat of the back that is required of all time. I'm the man. What are you flapping over there?
I patted you on the back.
Thank you. Appreciate the patting of the backs. Guys, we have an episode for you. Shocker. That's why you're listening. That's why you're here. This week, guys, actually it was yesterday. It was that would be Wednesday, the 26th. Then there was some embargo lifted, and a bunch of news outlets and some YouTubers decided to release some gameplay that Nintendo apparently invited these people to. I believe one was in New York. There's like in-person gaming session. New York, and then what was not Tokyo?
It was Nintendo Europe was the other one.
Nintendo Europe. Okay, yeah. So in those two places, excuse me, I have to belch. You take over for a second.
I don't know where you were going with that. We'll just wait on you. You good?
Sorry. Yeah, so it was a big burp. I had to let it happen. So yeah, some YouTubers, excuse me, were invited to and marketing people and stuff like that. We're invited to Tokyo, not Tokyo. I'm messing this up. Nintendo Europe. The burp has thrown me completely off my game. Yeah. Anyway, so we got some new information. We saw some new stuff with Tears of the Kingdom. And honestly, I didn't see a whole lot.
You didn't see it. That's okay. This is what I want to know. I know that you didn't watch it and you're like, I don't want to see it. How am I supposed to talk about this without telling you about it?
Because I listened to your video and I've heard a lot about it.
You listened to my, okay, so you actually heard the audio from, okay, so I can talk about the things that I said in my video.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
Cool. Well, that makes it a little easier then. That's great.
Yeah, I know what's happening. I just don't want to see it, man. I just don't want to see it. I want to wait.
But why?
Listen, if someone told you you're going to die one day, you would go, yeah, of course, I'm going to die one day. Do you need to see your death happen? Or like you just,
I don't know, man. They didn't show a whole, it wasn't like a whole crazy lot, like a whole big thing more. It was just more stuff that got me pumped. That's all it was.
Yeah. I think for the most part, we're showcasing what we've already seen, right? I mean, we saw some of the new abilities in action. There was,
they kind of showed some gameplay of like going up and mostly like abilities in action.
Yeah.
Going into like a little bokoblin stronghold area. Yeah. We saw one of those boss bokoblins. They fought that thing, which was cool. We got to look at the tower. A little bit better look at the tower. But I mean, I don't know. My guess is the way they had this thing set up, and it's like, well, Nintendo said we're not allowed to show you this part, so we're going to skip it. And it's like, well, we need to get to this tower. And then it's like, okay, we're going to fight this thing, but now we have to skip stuff. And then it's like, okay, now they're in the Sky Islands. Like, I wonder what the tower was for. Wonder what happened there. Like, it's pretty clear the towers send you up into the sky. I would imagine that is a quick travel to the sky.
Which news outlet was it they got in trouble? They got their video taken down today.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see anything about that.
RGT posted a video. It was one of the big ones. IGN.
Somebody, maybe? May have been Game Explain. Was it? No. I don't know. I saw somebody. Maybe it was IGN. I don't know. Somebody had a video of Link being shot up into the sky. And I was like, really? That was in nobody else's video. It didn't show where he came from, but I mean, he was just cruising up into the sky. Yeah, I didn't see that anywhere else. That may have been what it was. I can't remember where I saw that yesterday, but I did see that. And actually one of the comments I think was, there's no way they were allowed to show that first clip because it was like the very first thing. And I was like, yeah, that's crazy. I haven't seen that. But then it's like, I mean, clearly he's been shot out of that tower into the sky, right?
Yeah. It's got
Well, we better be careful, man. Nintendo's going to take this podcast down. If
we're simply just talking about maybe things we've seen potentially.
Yeah.
That was a couple weeks ago podcast, man. Or actually, that was last week's because we had a weird week this week. We had a podcast on Monday. That was we don't usually do that, but I wanted to get that Pokemon content out there for you guys. Those seem to do well for some particular reason on the channel. I mean, neither of us are really big Pokemon fans, but like they always do well. I don't know, man.
People do like Pokemon.
The analytics talk, man. So maybe we should do more Pokemon. Even though like nobody in this chat really likes Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken. I know that one girl likes some, but and those of you listening at home, I might make that a comment for this week's poll. Do we even like Pokemon here? I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm just joking, but
my kids do.
No, I played 115 hours in 2 weeks, man. I like Pokemon now.
Okay.
I mean, but yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. So, okay, so we'll just get right to it. So you made a video, basically reacting to stuff we saw in other people's videos that was recorded at these events.
Okay, that's basically what the video was. But I kind of wanted to be like, I was kind of thinking yesterday, like I need an angle. I need an angle on this video. Course. So I was like, I'll just go with the, the title, thumbnail. We'll go with like the DLC thing. Like, true. Like is it DLC really? Like, I don't know. But yeah, the angle I took was that I'm like, nobody's talking about that anymore. Like it might fire some people up or maybe question, people would look at it and be like, oh, what's that?
We talked about it not too long ago.
We did.
Hence the sequel.
I figured I figured at this point, everyone has seen what we've seen. Okay, this is a lot. Like this is a lot of stuff. Like clearly this is a sequel. Like very clearly with what we're getting here. But I didn't think that is what my comment section would be full of. I thought it would be people like, oh, you clickbait. No, I only got one of those. Most of the comments are people coming in defending the fact that they think this is just overpriced DLC. And I was mind blown when I saw it. Like I woke up this morning, there were some that came in yesterday, but like when I woke up this morning to look at the comments, I'm like, oh my God, like there's so many of these and people are pissed. There are a few where some people actually thought clearly didn't watch the video, clearly did not watch the video and thought that I was saying that it was $70 DLC. This one guy straight cussed me out. He was mad. He was extremely mad.
Believe it or not, Drip, you may or may not know this about people, but they actually don't even watch the video that you
This
make.
guy definitely did not. There's no way this guy watched the video.
They look at the title and they go, you know what? This is something I want to complain about today. And
all caps. They called me a joke.
You click on the video and then they pause immediately. So they
what else did he say?
And then they just make nasty comments.
Ridiculous to see a grown man whine and complain on YouTube about all this stuff, especially a Nintendo game. LOL.
I love how people.
That's just the last part. There's much more to it than that.
Yeah, I bet. May I sidebar for a second?
Yeah.
I love how listen, I want to acknowledge that there are plenty of Nintendo games that are for kids. Like, let's be honest. Miitopia, for babies.
Okay,
for
dude,
babies.
Let's not start that again. Let's not go there.
Mario Party for not babies.
Shut up, dude. Mario Party's awesome.
Because when we were babies, we loved it and we still love it. That's different.
No, I still love Mario. Dude, Mario Party for real?
Can I?
What a great time.
May I sidebar alone, please?
I hate this sidebar.
I think that it's made for babies, but we still love it.
You're a baby.
It's literally made for babies. It's still playable for adults, but it's made for babies. I think that's not even that controversial.
I think that's ridiculous, but go ahead.
I can't think like some of the Yoshi games are kind of babyish, although
those are for the younger generation. Yes.
I have not made this aware to you guys yet, but Mrs. Geeb and I are in the process of beating Woolly World on the Wii U. And
Woolly World is better than Crafted.
I've heard that. That's why we found it for like $25 physical in a store out in Philly area last year when we
Crafted World kind of looks like shit too. It's really blurry.
Yeah, I've seen my nephew play Crafted World and I don't like it that much. But Woolly World looks, the yarn is amazing. I love that art style. But anyway, we're playing it. We're playing it. We're getting really frustrated. Is Megaboy yelling at me? Oh, God.
No, definitely not.
Megaboy is yelling at me in the chat. Stop reading the chat, Drip. The podcast going on. But yeah, no. So We're playing. Shut up, Drip. We're playing. That wasn't me. Make a point. We're playing Woolly World, and we're actually like really frustrated by it because there's lots of. You'd think like I say that it's made for babies, right? You'd think that as well because it's a Yoshi game, and Crafted World's definitely made for babies. I've seen my nephew play it. But listen, hold on a second. Woolly World's hard. Like we're trying to 100% it. It's really hard to 100%.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff.
Frustrating.
There's some stuff in the newer one that's like a little frustrating if you're trying to 100% it, but for the most part, you can breeze through it.
We can breeze through it, but we're trying to 100% it. We're like, this is for babies. We're gonna 100% it. There's no way 2 grown adults can't 100% this baby game. And
guess what?
It's been really frustrating.
That means it's not for babies.
I mean, to 100%. I don't know. Maybe that's what that. All I'm saying is there are a lot of sidebar completed. There are a lot of games that are actually no. That was a sidebar within the sidebar. My regular sidebar was that yes, there's a lot of games that are for children that Nintendo makes, but listen, Nintendo games are not for kids anymore. It's not just like a kid friends. People think that because it's not God of War graphics, because it's not Xbox and PS5 graphics. They automatically assume it's for babies, and it really makes me upset when I hear people talk about it like that. Because I'm kind of one of those people. I wasn't like actively yelling at people saying you're playing Nintendo, you're a baby. Like my brother-in-law had it, and I never made fun of him or nothing. But like I thought in the back of my mind, like maybe. He's playing this game.
Maybe he wears diapers. Maybe he drinks out of bottles.
Maybe he wears diapers. I don't know.
Maybe he only wears diapers and blue T-shirts.
That's right.
Maybe.
I don't know. Suddenly his name is Tommy, and he's talking to Tommy Pickles.
I'm glad you picked that up. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, so Nintendo games, I've learned over these past few years especially freaking Zelda games. I mean, listen, they're not for kids. And this notion that Nintendo makes games for children needs to die. It's just
they make games for everybody.
They make games for exactly, Drip. They make
games for everyone.
For everybody. Yes, they
just
do.
About every Nintendo game is a level that a child can enjoy and an adult can enjoy in some form or fashion. Even if even if a kid wants to play Breath of the Wild, a young kid like my 7-year-old could play Breath of the Wild. Now, would she complete the game?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing, but she'd probably still have fun running around playing and killing stuff and looking around and finding they're accessible to everybody.
For sure. No, yeah. Anyway, my sidebar's over. But yeah, you were reading comments. I think that's what brought up this sidebar.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's comments I get all the time. Yeah, I mean, people, especially over a Nintendo game, is what he finished with. But I get that all the time. Like, Nintendo games for babies anyway. Why are you even talking about this? Like, why are you even watching my video if you think that anyway?
It's like a woman who's good with tools. Like, you're pretty good with tools for a woman. It's like that backhanded compliment of like,
asshole.
What are you talking about, you asshole? Like, women can use tools too. You live in.
Yeah.
I slick my hair back with gel, and I go to work with my pants tucked up to my nipples, and I jazz music. Oh yeah, it's 1950s.
That was my greaser music, not jazz music.
Oh, greaser. I mean, that's not quite where I was going. Yeah. But yeah, no, similar era. Yeah.
Yeah.
They still kind of did
whatever. Anyway, not the point. The point is the comments were not where I thought they were going to be. I really thought it was just going to be people mad because I like clickbaited them. And I didn't even really clickbait them. Like if you read the title and listen to the video, they go right together. Like it's not clickbait at all, really. But some people got mad because they thought I was on the side of it actually being DLC. But then there were a ton of people in there actually defending it being DLC,
like way more than you would have ever expected.
I didn't even think that was going to be a thing at this point. Like after what we've seen and what we know about this game, like the facts. The fact is this. Here's what's going on here. The fact is, anybody who's calling this game at this point now way early, because I'll agree, early. I was not quite happy with the marketing and the amount of information we got, and I'm talking early, not like a month ago. I'm talking like early. You could maybe make the case. Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, what are they adding? Like we don't know anything. Like, oh, it's just a story, because just another story, that would be a form of DLC, an extra piece of story. That's DLC, correct? They do that all the time. Let's see a Spider-Man on PS4. The DLC for that has another chunk of story in it. It's fine. Yeah. Same game though, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Man doesn't move any different. Nothing changes. City's the same. It's just more story.
You plop a couple gigabyte file on top of your file that you already got, and boom, you got a little extra story.
My point is, at this point, anybody saying this is DLC either doesn't know what DLC is or just wants to be loud on the internet. Because there's no mistaking this unless you really just don't understand what DLC is. You're looking for shit to bitch about on Twitter. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
YouTube comments.
Yeah, YouTube comments, whatever. Just a place to complain and start problems and be a troll. That's all it is at this point. Either that, or you just don't know what DLC is. You don't understand what this is. I've done a lot of research on DLC today because I saw all these comments. I'm like, I really want to get to the bottom of all of this and really kind of explain the difference, because I'm going to make a whole video on this tomorrow. And for all the trolls, I'm going to title it really nice for them too, so they all just have to click on it. They won't be able to resist. It's going to be hilarious.
I'll let you keep going. I just want to bring up your attention to a poll that we put up about 13 days ago, Drip, when we did this other episode. 13 days ago, I put a poll up at 83 votes. Thank you guys for voting the polls. I really appreciate it. Do you think any Zelda Tears of the Kingdom doubters still exist after the final trailer? Basically, this poll was released right around the DLC.
Right when the trailer, the final trailer.
So the options were yes, no, or I'm a hater. So you just give you a hater as an outlet to express your hate. We had 73%, only 73%. I'm sorry. I mean, rephrase that. Not only 73% of people said that yes, there are still going to be doubters. That actually surprises me, especially at the time. I'm like, there's no way when we get all this extra information like we did at that time, how could people still think there's going to be doubters? And I would have voted no if it was me. But only 20% said no, and 6% were haters. But we won't talk about them. But 20% of people turns out to be the minority of everything, and they were right. People were right. I was wrong.
That's the thing.
There's still a lot of doing it
just to do it, and that's the thing. I would say this too. I talked about this earlier today too, because I was talking about these comments and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah. Like, and the person I was talking to was like, once they play the game, they're not going to say that. And I look at these comments and I'm like, these people aren't playing this game. These people have no intention of playing this game whatsoever. They are literally here to talk shit. That is the only reason they are here, because you should see it. Some of the stuff, like some of the comments, and my comment section doesn't normally go real crazy. There's one comment that has like 15 replies, and it's just people in there fighting, just back and forth. There's like 3 or 4 people in there and it's still going right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, these people aren't going to play this game. I don't know. I want to talk about this whole DLC thing. Like, let's just set the record straight here. We're going to go. I want to talk about just DLC in general. Okay.
Sure.
And I think a lot of the problem is that people are saying that, well, we know they're haters, but let's just say people would look at this and say, this is DLC. We've been pretty spoiled with certain kinds of DLC.
Like, I assume you have some examples.
I do have some examples. One, a huge one. Let's look at the size of something like Monster Hunter Rise, the Sunbreak DLC.
That is a great example, because
that's huge. It's massive.
Absolutely massive. I haven't even played it, so I'm not like I'm going to sit here and pretend like I have, but I do know for a fact when you release DLC that people don't review as shit immediately, and it is $40, that was worth it.
That one's massive, but let's go back to the fundamentals of DLC.
Yeah, just like more basic.
The gameplay is still the same. The general mechanics of the game are still there. Yes. The foundation of the game has not changed whatsoever. There's just more shit.
Yeah, it's Monster Hunter with an amazing coat of paint. No, I shouldn't even say paint.
It's just more. It's just
more. Yeah, let's just keep it simple, because that's really what it is. It's more of the same.
And then, now this is one that I didn't play this, but I know it was huge. The Octo expansion for
Splatoon 2.
Splatoon 2 was huge, was big. It brought a lot of new stuff to the game. But again, fundamentals of the game didn't change. It was not Splatoon 3. It was not. That was DLC for that game. So now those are examples of like big DLCs. Another one too. Another one actually. What's the other one? Oh, I don't know if you remember this, but I think they put one in the new Forza Horizon 2. I think it's something different. But they had a Lego thing in Forza Horizon 4.
I did not know that.
It was like a whole new part of like the island or whatever, and you could go there and like race like Lego looking cars. But guess what? Just more. And it was big. It was big. It's just more game, different cars, different skins. Now, are you saying the fundamentals of Tears of the Kingdom changed?
Yeah, I think you're going to get. You're probably going to get there.
And I'm going to get there. Yeah. Okay, but I want to go back to like what regular DLC was. Okay.
Okay.
Just think about these smaller DLC packs that we would get for things like, I don't know, like a multiplayer game. You know, weapons, skins, things like that. But you buy them in DLC pack, right? Maps, right? Sometimes they're free, sometimes they're not. But like little DLC packs is what we used to be. Like, that's why I think people look at this and they're like, that's just DLC. Like, we've been spoiled with some of the DLC that we've got. I mean, even let's talk about this. The actual DLC for Breath of the Wild. Yeah. It's huge. It's huge.
It was expansive. It was, I believe it's called, was that not called an expansion pack?
No.
Or not?
I don't know. It was DLC. I don't remember what it's called.
I think they actually called it an expansion DLC, if I'm not mistaken.
Whatever. Yeah, maybe they did. I don't remember what it's called.
But like, because they literally extended the game. Like, there was basically a game within the game.
Yeah, like, there was more stuff to do. DLC. Yeah. Same map. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
You had the same stuff, same weapons. Well, they did add one weapon, but that was
the DLC weapon.
The one hit obliterator thing. Yeah.
That was just a quest you needed for a quest.
Exactly. But I'm saying everything was the same. The map was the same. They added a couple things here and there. Like there was something in the sky that I won't spoil for you. One thing. They added a few things. Not, you know, not make an entirely new game. Now, I think the big thing is people are hung up like, oh, it's the same map, same art style, same link.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. That's crazy to me because what was the game I was talking about earlier? And I don't play this game, but I was just looking up games that use the same maps. And the Yakuza series.
Yes.
I guess I don't know if this is 100% true because I read it on the internet, maybe wrong, but it said like every one of those games except for one of them, maybe the newest one, is on the same exact map.
But yeah, you told me about that earlier. Yeah.
Nobody calls that DLC. They're new games. They're numbered games in a series.
They have their little subset of non-fans who bicker about it, but I know your point is valid. I mean,
either way,
nobody's out here like saying take down the Yakuza series. They're scamming us.
Now, okay, I want to go. I don't know. I mean, just the different kinds of DLC that we've seen kind of have us a little bit. I don't know. We expect a lot with DLC, and then there's another. And actually, we'll get to that before we even get to the other stuff.
Can I just say one thing real fast? Let's play this game real fast. Let's play this game it's DLC. Let's just play the game for a second. It's worth every bit of $70 as DLC. If they said that they're offering a $70 expansion to Breath of the Wild, the Tears of the Kingdom pack, and it was $70 and what we've seen already is what we've seen, no, people would be like, this is crazy, that $70 DLC, but I bet you nobody, when they actually play it, is going to go, this wasn't worth every penny. Like, if they were to split it up, right, Pokemon style, we got, not quite Pokemon style, but, we got a $35 DLC right here for Breath of the Wild, half of it, and it's basically what I'm saying is split Tears of the Kingdom in half, $35 DLC, $35 DLC, two packs. It would be, people would be drooling to play it. And
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. This is interesting. Do you think that less people would be saying, oh, it's DLC, if the only thing that we had in this game, in the new game, was just the sky? If the bottom was gone and we were all on these islands and it was just up there, which would have been less content than we're getting, because we're getting a ton more content probably than we got in Breath of the Wild, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Things to do, there's double the area almost. Underneath the ground, above the ground. What if it was just the Sky Islands and that was the new game? Kind of like a Skyward Sword type thing. Do you think anybody would say anything about it being DLC if you just took out that Hyrule down there?
No, because they got rid of the
people
map below.
would be happier with less content.
Yes.
Just because you're not using the same base, not the same map, the same base of the map. Yeah. Because we've seen 10, 15, 20, 30 areas of this map already that are different. There's caves,
we're getting
there's
into
all kinds of stuff that's different.
We're getting into like people psychology at this point. Well,
yeah, I just think it's interesting to talk about.
Because I think you're totally right. I think people would totally be I keep saying totally. People would be absolutely fine. They would have been fine if they just would have seen an expansive sky area as a new game called Tears of the Kingdom with absolutely no floor to stand on the bottom. It was all just in the sky. I think they would have been happier with that because that's how people work. They're just held up on these details, these small details, which like it's the same map, and they're not realizing is it's this. Yeah, it is the same map. But it's different. They've changed
there's
things.
Tons of stuff. And let's go into that a little bit. Yeah, there's Koroks. You think those Koroks are just going to be in the same places?
Yeah,
no.
Same places and the same puzzles.
Like you think every single thing that's there right now should be this, like, oh, I remember doing this. Let's go do that again. You really think that's going to happen?
And listen,
no.
that's mine. That's minor. Like, let's forget the Koroks, man. And again,
I don't care about it. Whatever.
People psychology, they're held up on this idea that I saw a Korok, so the Koroks are back, and I don't like that. It's the same game.
I will say that is one thing I wish they would have done something different with. It's fine. I know they're going to be different.
We don't know
different
yet,
places.
dude. Well, we don't know what they've done with Koroks.
We do.
We don't know.
We saw it. Yeah, they're talking about the same thing. They hand you a seed. Yeah.
What do you do with the seeds? Weapon slots again?
Yeah, it looks like it because it says, "Oh, you have what's his name? Hetsu. He's like, "Oh, you haven't met him yet, but when you do, give him this." That's what he says. It's the same thing.
You haven't met him yet? What do you mean you haven't met him?
That's what it said in the little dialogue box.
That's a story spoiler. What do you mean? We've already met him in Breath of the Wild.
Okay, well, this one says that you haven't seen him yet or whatever. I'm just intrigued. You don't know where he's at. Yeah. He's somewhere else, clearly.
Okay. Yeah.
So yes, we're giving them to him for something. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Which
all right. So we do know.
That is the same thing.
Fair enough. We do know.
We do know.
Same thing. But I know people complain about Koroks. Those people are just gonna complain. I didn't like him anyway. Yeah, I didn't like him. I liked. It was something to do. It was fun. I try to get 900 of them? No. I'm not my crazy fiance who did that.
That's insane.
But I think it's fun. It was fun. I'm not against Koroks. I understand it was basically busy work of a game. I get it.
Yeah, I mean it's extra stuff.
It's just content, man. It's content.
Right.
We don't have to. Do we have to like everything about it? Do we have to love every breathtaking moment of Breath of the Wild? We have to absolutely love. It was perfect from perfection from top to bottom. 100% game, best game. 100%, 100 out of 100 rating. Like no. Like, there can be some things that we don't like about it, okay? It's okay. Person who's complaining on the internet, it's okay. Take a breath. Go grab a tasty cake. Get yourself a cheesecake. a cheese steak. Listen, do all the things. It's fine.
All right.
We're good.
So I want to go back to about the fundamentals of the game that have changed. And I don't mean the engine. Clearly, this is built off of the Breath of the Wild engine. No one is saying that it's different. What we love about the Breath of the Wild engine,
is every Mario game ever. Just saying.
Now that's not true. But what we love about
Mario
the Breath
Kart.
of the Wild engine,
I said Mario, I meant Mario Kart.
Is the physics, right? Like that's the thing. That's the cool thing. It's the physics. The physics are insane. We get those physics, but they took away all four of the big basic tools that we use to manipulate those physics and gave us new ones.
There is no magnesis. There is no stasis.
This gameplay is going to be
ice.
completely different. Completely different. Everything about this game is going to be different because we are going to be playing it in a completely different style. It's the same map generally, but they took all the other stuff. Now you tell me, and I could be wrong, and I'm sure Alex will have some random ass game he's going to throw in the chat here. You tell me one DLC for any game ever that has taken your base core mechanics away from you and given you new ones. Yeah. Name a DLC that's ever done that.
Like bombs, like the bombs, the stasis, the ice.
I'm just talking about the runes. Oh, just those.
Right. So all those things that you use in Breath of the Wild, that's the game shtick, man. That's how you play the game. And Nintendo was like, no, you're gonna play the game differently now. We're gonna give you now. Granted, one of them is similar, right? We all know that Recall is similar. To stasis,
sort of.
But Ultra Hand is completely different.
You could say that Ultra Hand is kind of like Magnesis, only but honestly way better.
It's half of Magnesis. It's half of Magnesis, right? And they gave you a second half to it, which is now you stick things together with Magic Zonai glue.
You build things, yeah. I mean, it's there's so many different things, and not only that, like. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the stuff.
It's a trailer, we're getting spoilers.
We're getting two more. We're getting two more.
Yeah.
There's another part of the Ultra Hand. It had 3 hands on it.
Yep.
And then there was a slot for the amiibos, which obviously that, and then there was another empty slot, a whole nother one empty that we don't even know about yet.
Yeah.
So
imagine that. We didn't know everything from the start, and they're giving us more. Imagine that. Yeah. It's not surprising. And people, because that's the other thing that people are the psychology of people here, furthering that old shtick. Like, people are just assuming that we know everything already. Like, we've seen most of the game. It's whatever, it's the same thing, the same map. The Koroks are there. It's not. There's more. We haven't seen everything.
No, we haven't.
There's
and
so much
another
more.
Thing too. There's so much we haven't seen. And I got this comment too, like, oh, it is it's DLC. They said it was DLC. They've already said it was DLC, and they did say it was DLC. Finish the rest of what they said after that, because that was the comment. Well, they already said it was DLC. This was supposed to be DLC for Breath of the Wild. The rest of what they said was we had way too many ideas, and we didn't want to sacrifice those awesome ideas we had for DLC. So we went ahead and made a whole nother game. That's why we got started on another game, because we had so many ideas that we wanted to do with this map and take it to another level. I mean, come on. It's absolutely...
There are different characters in this game. I'm sorry, there are the same character. There are some same characters. There's also new characters, but every character in the game has completely different dialogue. And when you interact with them, they're probably going to be in a different part of the world, or if not, a different spot. Like, it's not like that's the thing when you say the same game. It's very triggering because, like, it's not. Every character in this game is going to have different dialogue with different, if they are the same, have different dialogue with different things, with different quests, with different everything. They took the bones and put meat on them. There was already meat there. We ate that meat. That's called Breath of the Wild. They regrown the meat on the bones, and it's called Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, it's the same fucking frame.
The grossest deal, or that's the grossest analogy I've ever heard. They regrew the meat.
They regrew the meat.
Gross. Yes, I'm not eating that. I'm not eating that.
If people want to argue with me and say that, well, it's DLC because of that. Sorry. If they want to argue with me because they think that the game is not enough, that it wasn't enough, that it's still that the bones, not changing the bones out for different bones was the reason why I don't like Tears of the Kingdom. First off, you're wrong. But number two, if you want to argue about that, that's fine. But just to attack it and say it's DLC, it's just simply not, friends.
Okay, then
some things in life are
you're
facts.
Right. You're right. And on that point, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, if that's DLC, then all the Mario Galaxy 2 lovers, sorry, Mario Galaxy 2 is DLC.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's DLC, obviously. Yeah. I mean, right? Majora's Mask. Man, That's the same engine, dude.
Yeah, that's the graphics are almost exactly the same, with only slight improvements.
That's totally.
And they added
DLC,
they added the time limit, so like it's almost like they knew that you didn't want to play the game for very long, so they put this time limit on it.
Yeah, it's DLC.
And listen.
I mean, I'm being an asshole, but
Twilight
Princess.
Twilight Princess. It's just reskinned Ocarina. We don't need to play this game.
Yeah, it's DLC, dude.
It's DLC.
I mean, I don't know. I've made my point.
Man.
Honestly, I've made my point. I don't really have much else to say on it. I'm gonna make a full video, and I'm gonna invite the trolls. The title,
bring them on. Bring them on.
I'm gonna be baiting them in. I can't wait. Wait till you see the comment section of that one. I'm very excited for this. Very excited.
Yeah. Actually, I want to address this comment real fast from the chat. We don't usually talk to chat very much during the recording session of the podcast, but I think this actually brings up a really good point. I can't pronounce your name. I can't read. Pariah. Pariah says DLC doesn't add hours to the experience. It's not substantial. In your opinion, you can have your opinion. I actually think you're kind of wrong though, because there's been so many good examples, like even with Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild's DLC is hours and hours
of content, and it's not. It's on the borderline of being substantial or not. I would say it's substantial.
Pretty substantial.
That's kind of more. That is definitely more of like an opinion thing. It's not really like factual. But no, what is a fact is that it does add hours of content to a game that already has hours and hours.
Yeah,
of content.
I mean, even like I see Alex talking about the most people just care about the length. I want to see Spider-Man Miles Morales was like deal. I will say that one was. I mean, that was pretty short. It was priced a little bit cheaper because at that point they had gone 70 and it was what 50. I mean, I don't think it was light for 50. When you think about something like, I don't know, Sunbreak DLC, I guess that's a little bit more. That's probably a lot more, actually.
Listen, I'm all in favor.
It was 52, I think, right? Originally?
Which one?
Wasn't the Sunbreak DLC 50?
No, I believe 40.
Okay. Well, might have been a little expensive. But, I mean, hey, it was good.
That did not last long at all. Like, you could now get Sunbreak with the original game bundled together for 40.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Like, physical.
Yeah.
You could literally go buy it physical.
They've definitely added that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. We've come so far in this whole DLC thing. People are really spoiled with some of it.
Yes, I think we are.
These giant expansions to not be a full game, and it's like, that's a game. That's a game. They gave you a whole extra game. It's like Sunbreak is basically a whole nother game. Let's be honest. We haven't even brought this one up. And this is, I know you're going to agree with me on this. The Animal Crossing DLC. That's an entirely new game. That's a whole nother game.
Listen, I didn't play it. I don't like Animal Crossing that much anymore. But listen,
that's a whole nother game.
There's, it's a new game. It's not a great game in my opinion. But I mean, for those of you who really like,
awesome.
For those of you who like Animal Crossing and really enjoy the building
Happy
aspect,
Home Paradise
literally is a new
game.
In fact, Drip, don't forget about this. At one point of time was its own spin-off game on the 3DS.
Happy Home something. Happy Home, what was it? Happy Home something.
I don't know. But it literally was its own cartridge on the 3DS. So like,
well, it was different though. It was not that game.
But it was the same.
It was based. Yeah, it was based off of that. But it wasn't the same game. But yes, that was sold as its own game. Yes. Yeah, at one point. Yes, that style of game. So, and I mean, dude, that is substantial DLC. I mean, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, you can literally put as much time as you want in it. 40, 50, 100, 200 hours into it.
Animal Crossing.
Go back and redesign all the houses all you want.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We're spoiled with DLC. We look at stuff like that, and
is that not gaming? Or let's not even gaming. Let's just be honest. Our society right now, in general, especially in the States, like we're just spoiled. We got like you expect you give and then you expect more. It's that old saying. What's the old saying where like you give an arm, you get a leg, or what? There's a saying that's something like that where you give some and then they expect more. Like that's I don't know. What to
you
say
give
exactly.
an inch and they take a mile.
That's exactly.
Is that what you're looking for?
That's what I'm looking for. Thank you. An arm and a leg.
Yeah,
That's
no
what
body
it's
parts. No body parts.
I like meat. Apparently.
We're doing measuring. Yeah, but this whole meat body part thing you're on tonight, I think we should probably just let's just call it and get into this draft.
Yeah, it is true in a lot of ways. That's saying it's not.
Yeah,
like,
no,
it
is.
It's not a blanket thing for everybody, but it certainly is. Some people out there absolutely. Well, you give them an inch and they will take a full mile. Like you gave them Breath of the Wild, and then you give them Tears of the Kingdom, which maybe isn't a mile in front of Breath of the Wild. It's not with 60 FPS 4K Zelda like everybody wants, except for not the Zelda fans don't really care about that, but everybody else who's spoiled with God of War and those games.
See that though. Let's talk about that for just 1 second. But you're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's another one too. God of War, Ragnarok, is that DLC? Same engine, same characters. Aren't they? I mean, I don't know. I didn't play the second one. Are they in the same place?
And it doesn't have the benefit of being an open world that there's always something else to explore.
DLC, I don't know. We're beating a dead horse at this point.
That's this episode. Literally, it's the sequel to the first episode where we
beat that horse to death, and then we brought it back out and started beating it some more.
Exactly, this horse.
We took all the meat off the bones, and then we put more meat on his bones. We regrew it.
I didn't know. Like you didn't really. I didn't know about this. Was it yesterday you told me about this idea, or today? Like I didn't even realize people were still talking about this fact that it's DLC. It's just it blows my mind too.
I just wanted to use it as a title. Like I was just trying to honestly, I was just trying to get some clicks out of it. I didn't think people were talking about it either. But man, comment section was alive with it. So we'll make a second one tomorrow. Don't worry, it's gonna be great.
Gotta follow it up. Do you have anything else? I don't have anything else.
Oh, I'm ready to get into the Zelda draft.
That's right, everybody. You want to keep it in the episode?
Sure. Yeah.
This might be a little bit longer an episode. If you guys want to tune out now.
No. After show. We'll put it up as another video. Put it in the after show.
Maybe we'll do it as an episode of podcast as well. We'll see about if I do 2. Well, maybe we could do 2. More content. Why not? But we'll definitely put it up on YouTube as a separate video. That'll be fun. But guys, the recording of this episode is finished. But like I just said, either it's going to be up on YouTube or audio or both. We're going to do Drip and I. You get ready for this? And in this selection, Drip and I are going to draft our perfect Zelda team playing basketball. He still thinks it's not basketball, but it's a basketball team. We're building a basketball team with Zelda characters. It's going to be cool. Make sure you check out that piece of little content we put out. If you guys are in the stream, you're going to see it in just a second. But those of you hanging out on audio or VOD, we will see you guys next week.
Later.
You were late.
I was late.